this faulty premise that we can always keep expanding human population and human consumption of resources, how does that perpetuate? I think what it happens is this, is essentially you have this physical reality based upon the availability of fossil fuel energy, which essentially allows us to raise our short-term carrying capacity of the planet tremendously. We are able to now organize the resources of our planet to support more and more people and more consumptive lifestyles, to a point where it's gone on for so long and we've met so many challenges that in its essence we developed a culture that reinforces the idea that there are no real consequences to our actions, because even if there's a short-term problem, we will have the ingenuity and the ability to solve it. The society in general then has generation after generation going back with that belief system and those set of expectations. And so to be able to turn that around when all anyone who's alive today can see is just, this era of human progress that goes back into the past and they assume is going to stretch out to the future and is embedded in the laws and the habits that people have. It's just sort of a positive feedback loop. So there you see this cultural constraint then on change that becomes very, very dangerous, because when that is challenged, it's challenging generations of belief and assumptions. And what happens is that those who challenge it are essentially putting themselves outside of their own culture. And that becomes very difficult to handle as an individual, psychologically and emotionally, because you're constantly going to be looking at your own culture and seeing, oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy. And yet the culture will look back at you and say, you're crazy. And it becomes a matter of, understanding epistemology. How do you know what you know? Most people know what they know based upon what their culture has taught them over time, unquestioning. And then there are people who actually have to study the raw data, and they're trained as scientists to have their belief system based upon evidence. And when that contradicts, generations of belief, they're just like, hear no evil, see no evil, please, get out of my face, I can't handle this. And that became incredibly frustrating to me. I have kids. I want peace on earth. I want all good things, and yet I found that people that also want those things unable to realize that that we're all a huge part of this problem.